The Ballad of Johnny Arcane, a novel by Jim Nail, read by Jim Nail. Chapter 1, Johnny Arcane Sets Out, Part 2. In the days and nights that followed, while the moon slowly dwindled to a crescent fingernail, Johnny and Mother quarreled incessantly, bitterly. At first it was over trivialities. He left the root cellar door open when he brought in the parsnips. She didn't like the way he stacked the firewood with the big logs at the bottom. When she stood at the door in the evening and wrung her hands, as she did every evening, it drove him crazy. But he didn't know how to say it. Instead, he scolded her for allowing the fire to grow so warm on a summer day. One morning, Johnny sat at the table in front of a stack of pancakes while Mother performed her daily ritual, emptying the water from the sconces on the four walls of the house, refilling them and sprinkling into each a pinch of ash from the fireplace grate. Johnny straightened his back. "Mother, that is so foolish." Mother scowled. "It's not foolish, Johnny. You have to appease the four directions. Otherwise, things could change." Johnny slammed the palm of his hand down on the tabletop, making the plates jump. "It's foolish. In the first place, it doesn't do anything. It's just a superstition. And besides, why don't you want things to change? Change is necessary. Change has to happen." "The time of change is over, Johnny. You know that. Don't turn your back on what you've learned in school. We have good things to eat and plenty of wood. People are kind and gentle now. The fire and the bandits are gone. The weather is fair. As long as we appease the four directions, things will remain as they are." "You don't even know the four directions, Mother. You only know the four walls of this house. Let me tell you what I know about the four directions. I've been outside. I've wandered the four directions. In the west, there are rocks. They look like faces with ears. A trail winds through them, but I have never seen anyone walk this trail. At night, the blinkers rise up from the snowy mountains. In the north, they move through the stars and set in the flatlands of the south. There's a house on the southern horizon with a palm tree and a windmill. On a hot afternoon, it shimmers in a lake of shallow water. I walked there once. There was no water. The house was deserted, falling down. The ground was dry and barren. Sometimes in the night, from the south, I see flashes of green light. A road comes down from the scrub hills in the east. That's the way the messenger came, and it's probably the way he left. It's the way I will leave." After that, their quarrels were far less lucid. They quarreled over the number of strokes to churn butter, or the proper bedtime for dogs. Mother cooked her meals with a noisy chatter, while Johnny sat on the floor, scribbling pictures of mountains on a parchment tablet, then ripping them off, crumpling them up, and hurling them into the fire. One warm night, Mother got her squeeze box down from the shelf and sat by the fire, playing through the old melodies, the stovepipes, the cotillions, the meringues, the strathspeys. Johnny took down his mandolin and strummed the strings, but he could not get his fingers to play. On so many other evenings they had played, he and his mother, sometimes late into the night, working through the familiar melodies and then deconstructing them, making brand new tunes that they would give funny names like The Caterpillars of Carol or Your Hand Brushes the Midnight Crumbs from the Table. But tonight, the reeds of the accordion were too sharp for his ears. He took his mandolin and left the house. First, to the woodshed, where he set it down next to the cutting block and split 12 large cherry stumps, all the while saying to himself, I won't feel the heat of this wood. By winter, I will be gone. Then he took his mandolin up to the top of Gravestone Hill, where Huxley and Vermilion and Rugchomper were buried. He played to the stars and the blinkers and the crescent setting moon, the coyotes on the eastern ridge joining in harmony. Suddenly, he had a revelation. She's doing this on purpose. She's just following Father's orders. He stopped playing then, returned to the house quietly, and put himself to bed. Without another word. The next morning, Johnny Arcane got up early and left his house and his mother and set out to take on the life of a sojourner. Mother was ready for this. She had filled his backpack with the necessary items, some clean shirts and pants, a good sharp whittling knife, a canteen full of fresh water, a tin of oat flakes, and a sack of dried cat meat. She hooked the mandolin in its case to the strap on the side of the pack. It was a chilly morning, and he wore a light jacket. She straightened the collar. Her eyes were dry. You will send a messenger from time to time to tell me how you're doing, won't you, Johnny? Not just on the day before you leave your body. Her words cut him, and for a moment he thought, she's making me do this. This isn't my idea. She's driving me out. But at the same time, at the same moment, his legs told him, no, we want to be on our way. I will, Mother, he said. Perhaps I will even pass this way again. He turned abruptly to hide the tears. His back to his home, his face to the world. Johnny Arcane set out on his journey toward the unknown.